All right. So we read this question together. We are reading this question together, my good students. So remember, what they want us to do in Roman 1 is start by reading the requirement. They want us to give them the optimum production mix units and a limiting factor and analysis, what we call the key limiting factor. So under key limiting factor, the very first thing that you're supposed to do is to come here, ladies and gentlemen, and give us the CM, contribution margin, which will be price minus variable cost. We have three products in this case here. We have USP, of which you had given me the prices. Please don't get tired. The prices for these particular products, what do we have over here? So the prices for the three products, we have 2,400. Yeah, from the table given, S is 2,300, S is 2,300, and then boy, my good students, boy is going for 2,000. So come and give me the variable costs. So variable cost U is 1,650, U is 1,650, S in this case here happens to be 1,200, S happens to be 1,200, and then B for boy happens to be 1,400. So I'm deducting the variable costs from the prices to be able to get now the contribution margins, which fortunately you had given me. If I remember very well, this was 750. Then the second one is 1,100. 1,100. The last one is 600. This is step number 1. Whenever you're doing any question on key limiting factor analysis, the first step is you to give us the CM. Step number 2, give us the key resource. The key resource per unit. This key resource is the key limiting factor. So this is the key limiting what here? This is the key limiting factor. This is the key limiting factor. This is the key limiting factor. So in this question, have they given me a key limiting factor? Oh yes, they told me in this particular note. Look at note number 3. Look at note number 3. Note number 3, they told us the total labor hours in the current period for motherboard division are limited. To how many in total? 56,000. So there is, not unless I'm a thief, I can't use more than 56,000 hours. So it means that labor hours are limiting. So go back to your original table. Remember, these 56,000 labor hours, these are total. And yet in this table, I need the key resource per unit of each of these products. So if you go to your original table given up there, you'll be able to see where they have told us the labor hours required per unit in motherboard division. And then I can see here we have 3, we have 4, 3, 4, and then lastly there are 2 like that. All right. So then come and now combine the 2 through quotient, through dividing. Give me the CM, in this case here, per key resource. CM per key resource. So you divide. So 750 divided by 3, abracadabra. What figure are you getting there? 250. So you're getting here 250. Thank you so much. All right. 1,100 divided by 4. 275. And then lastly, we have 600 divided by 2, which gives me 300. Now from there, of course, what is to follow? Step number 3, rank them. Ranking. So the higher the better. So in this case here, then boy becomes position number 1. S becomes position 2. This becomes position number what here? Position number 3, like that. From there, ladies and gentlemen, now you can go to the last step. The last step is where you give us the optimal schedule. So the last step, come here and give us the optimal schedule. Optimal schedule. So under optimal schedule, now you write these products in this case here in terms of how they have been ranked. So the products, what do we have here? We have B was number 1. This was ranked number 2, S. This was ranked number 3, U. BSU. BSU, like that. So then Of course, as we're being limited, our aim is to produce maximally what has been demanded outside there. So you ask yourself, do you have maximum demand? Do you have maximum demand? Is there any section where these people have told you how many of each of these units have been demanded? Because our aim is to meet the market. Our aim is to meet the market demand. So look for that particular note, which is giving you maximum demand. 𝐬𝐴 has already given us the figures, 8,000, 5,000, and 3,000. So here we have 8,000, 5,000, and then we have 3,000 like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember, as I have this as my ceiling, what am I looking at? The consumption of the scarce resource. The consumption of the scarce resource. So you come and have a column here for total scarce resource demanded. Total scarce resources demanded. And these scarce resources were labor. We know if it is B, labor hours for B are at 2. So you know this is at 2 equals. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is S. S in this case, labor hours are 4. They are 4. And then we have in this case here U, the labor hours for U, they are 3. So the total scarce resources that are demanded. So like now I can see here 8,000 times 2, 16,000. This will be 20,000. 20,000. This will be 9,000 like that. 9,000 like that. Iko sawa? Ni kama kuna swali Oh, they are saying mwalimu, demand is not right. Tunasema mwalimu, demand is not right. Demand is wrong. Tuanze tena. Please go to that note talking about demand and read for me. How many units of B are demanded? Bwana Steve, B, demand for B. 3,000. So sorry for that. Demand, remember I write figures that you guys give me. S, how many? 5,000, correct. And then U, ndio 8,000. Now we are in agreement, isn't it? Now we are in agreement like that. So 3,000 times 2 is 6,000. Is 6,000. 5,000 times 4 is 20,000. And then we have 8,000 times 3. 8,000 times 3 will give me how much? 8,000 times 3 will give us how much? Now they are not talking 24,000. 24,000. Then you come and add up everything to give us the total demanded. Total demanded. Total demanded. So 24 plus 20 plus 6,000. Oh yeah. Inakuja ngapi? So the ninjas are telling me it's 50,000. The ninjas are telling me here it is 50,000. And then I remember this was a straightforward question. I don't know even who was setting this kind of a question to advanced level students. Because if you look at the hours available given to us, hours available given to us is equal 50 what here? So is there any scarcity? Is there any scarcity? No scarcity at all. So in this case here, therefore, whatever is being asked by the market is what we shall produce. So in this case here, the optimal production schedule the optimal production schedule will be 3,000. We have 5,000. We have 8,000. So here we have B, S, and then U like that. Kwisha maneno. Kwisha maneno. Can I ask you a question? If in this case here, for example, the hours available were 40,000, So if the hours are available, first of all, have you been able to write up to here before I twist this question a little bit? Let's twist this question a little bit. As in this case here, the hours, don't write this. This is just for your knowledge. Assuming hours available, hours available were just 40,000 and you are demanding 50,000. Sijui kama kwanza wababa, sijui kama kuna wababa hapa, it's only Steve namwona hapa, wengine online siwaoni, lakini kuna siku ushaenda kwa supermarket kabla wakati wa M-Pesa, umeshika pesa yako kwa kibeti, umeweka kwa kibeti vizuri, uko na mtoto wako mmoja wawili wale wadogo zaidi, supermarket. So in the supermarket, in this case here, what happens, ule msichana kwa tila nagonga anasema, mzee tunataka 30,000 and yet you only have 20,000 kwa kibeti. Shamefully, what do? You will have some extra things returned because those days hatakuwa na communication. Yeah, una umepanga line nyuma yako. So in this case hapa tunajua deficit. So deficit kama hapa ni how many hours? 10,000 hours, because you take, this is what is available, what is demanded is 50. So you got a deficit ya 10,000. Now this deficit ndio kurudisha, unajiuliza kwa hizi products. So you start in this case here snatching the deficit hours from this. So fortunately, we know the procedure. You start from the least, the worst ranked. So the 10,000 hours, I will start, tazinyoa hapa. So niseme minus 10,000. So kumaanisha for you, I only have how many hours to do you? 14,000. I only have 14,000 hours to do. So meaning that B, I will still produce 3,000 because sijanyoa ya B, sijanyoa ya S, hiyo itabaki vile vile. But ikija U, I can't produce 8,000 because I know that U, now I only have how many hours available? 14. So it means that this is not achievable. I must cancel that. And then I call this small u. But I know how many hours we need per unit. So itakuja ikuwe u at 3 equals how many? 14,000. Therefore, u will be 14,000 divided by what here, somebody? Divided by 3. Yeah, u will be, in this case here, 14,000 divided by 3. Remember the special order given in note number 1, good question there. That automatically is for transfer pricing. For transfer pricing. Okay. So is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? Up to here, is that okay? Are we together really? Are we together? So the production will be B3,000, S5,000, and then U we have got those, of course, they will be there. There will be decimals. There will be decimals like that. So now we go to the special order given in note number 1. Now look at, ladies and gentlemen, Roman 2 of this question. So Roman 2 of this question, they want us to give them the transfer price to be set by motherboard division for the special order in order to maximize profits at the optimum production mix. This examiner was very lenient. Imagine he even gave you the formula for getting the transfer price. He gave you the formula. He told you note number 5, motherboard division transfers the special order at a marginal cost plus opportunity what here? Yeah, grab this. So transfer price. So transfer price here, they have told us to take marginal cost, which is the same as variable cost, plus opportunity cost. And the opportunity cost in this case is the lost contribution margin. So you take the variable cost plus the lost contribution margin. You must have been told in your normal classes that whenever transfer price policy is variable cost plus lost contribution margin, this is the same as the normal selling price. Don't transfer at a price which is lower than your normal selling price. So basically in this question, the transfer price for special order for S should have been this. S should have been this. 2300. That is what you are required to write there. Because whenever they tell you that they are using the variable cost or marginal cost plus any opportunity you lose in the form of contribution margin, this is what will happen. We know, ladies and gentlemen, that the variable cost for S, variable cost for S, do we know the variable cost for S? It is 1200. Variable cost for S is 1200. And if you don't sell this S out there, this one must have disrupted this phone call. Let me know, first of all, whether sound variation. How about now? How about now? How about now? How about now? Am I back? Am I back? It's okay now. Great. Great, great. So somebody is saying we look at note number 2. Note number 2. Yeah, please bring those questions. I like challenges. I love challenges. So note number 2. Yeah, note number 2. Instead of receiving transfers of component S, that's a different arrangement. I'll be able to explain. Note number 2 is a very different arrangement. So in this case here, transfer price for S, we're using this model that we've been told here in note number 5. We take the variable cost of S, which is 1200. And if, for example, we're going to transfer this commodity internally, we are going to lose some margin from our external customers. And the margin we're going to lose, do we know the contribution margin? It is how much here for S? Remember, this is for S alone. It's 1100, isn't it? So 1200 plus 1100, that will give me how much here, somebody? That will give me 2300, which is the same as this, which is the same as that. So whenever you hear, you know, at times you go to an exam and you get a little bit lost. Knowing some of these shortcuts here, they really help. That whenever you are told that they want you to use the concept of marginal cost plus opportunity cost, and then you see the normal selling price of that product somewhere, use that normal price as what here? As the TP, as a transfer price. But now somebody has raised a very, very important question from note number 2. So now we have these two divisions. Let me call this division A, and the next one in this case here, division B. So A is telling B, I will sell to you these goods at 2300 per unit. That is the transfer price. And then in this case here, we have a well-wisher from outside there, a well-wisher in the name of a seller of the same component who is willing to sell, this product to B at how much here from note number 2? At 2200. At 2200. At 2200. At 2200. All right. All right. All right. So you are told in this case here from note number 2, read note number 2. Instead of receiving transfers of component S from motherboard division, smart TV division could outsource a similar component in the open market at a slightly cheaper price of 2,200. So then they want us to give them the transfer price to be set by motherboard division for the special order in order to maximize profits at the optimum production OTR production mix. Now listen and listen to me very well. We've said the transfer price should be what here? Should be 2300. But there is somebody in this case here from out there who is telling us that, hey, in this case here, we can sell to you these products in this case here at what price? 2200 per unit. So now you are the manager here. This is now where you get your full marks here. Now you are the manager here. Now as a manager here, could you kindly tell me the optimal decisions you're going to make? So the optimal decision, you are a cost minimizer. You are a management accountant. So a cost minimizer, we are saying that the manager is better off doing what here, somebody? Is better off outsourcing. Is better off outsourcing. In short, we are able to see it is cheaper. It is cheaper to outsource. It is cheaper to do what here? To outsource. But now again, there is another thing that you must bring in as a management accountant. When you tell this guy to outsource, have you considered that there could be possibility of idleness? Because you see, if these guys, if we don't give these guys here work to produce these things for us, it means that there is a possibility of idle capacity. So in this case, you can just go ahead and mention there that other considerations that are really necessary, other considerations which are really necessary. Number one will be possibility of idle capacity, associated with outsourcing, and then in this case here, quality issues. This well-wisher is going to give us these particular products from outside there, are we assured that will be able to give us, in this case here, the same quality? This is the argument you are supposed to bring in this question. But again, remember, in advanced management accounting, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have like to get all the marks. I have been an examiner, especially marking. Nowadays, I'm not, because I got other better things to do. AMA is one of the toughest papers in CPA. You guys do, I can see you're about 70 something, isn't it? Will you compare, for example, AMA and AFR? Let's talk. Steve, AMA and AFR, which one is tougher? AMA. How about the online students? Which one is tougher? All right. So in this case here for AMA, we want to pass round one. Try to get some of these small theoretical things. Very, very important. Not lose any marks on theory. All right. And then very, very importantly, they're like, no, these rules here that when you hear transfer pricing is on marginal cost plus any opportunity cost, this is the same as what here? The selling price, the normal selling price. It's like any student who took like now this figure directly, and then the examiner just sees that answer there. Chances are, and then of course with some reasonings here and there, you'll get all the marks. The other one which never misses whenever they bring us this kind of a question are the advantages or objectives of transfer pricing. Could you kindly give me like 4 of them? Transfer pricing. Give me like 4 of them. Transfer pricing objectives. Objectives of transfer pricing. Yeah, I like this. Stella is telling me the concept of tax planning, especially global tax minimization. For a multinational company, you'll be able to have, in this case, here, some branches in these tax havens, and then you transfer, you shift, we call it shifting of profits. You shift most of your profits using transfer pricing to tax havens, and then the global tax comes down. Thank you very much. Yeah, congruence. I love the concept of goal congruence. Remember, initially, we used to go to the AGMs. Even today, people go to annual general meetings here. Meetings of shareholders. These shareholders, they don't want to hear how good you are in terms of minimizing costs. They don't want to know how good you are in terms of putting in lots of hours into production. What they would want to hear, everybody, is profit. How high was the profit? Because they know it is out of profit, they're going to get dividends. So then they wanted us really to have everybody in the company, including these particular branches, which are landlocked. Call them landlocks because they don't have what external customers. That you are landlocked, yes, you don't have external customers, but we want you to be thinking about profit. How do you make you think about profit and yet you are a landlocked organization or department? It's introducing this transfer pricing. You are production, you're producing chairs. As you produce these chairs and give them to the sister department, we shall not allow you to give them to your sister department for free. It has to be at a fee. And that fee is what we are calling transfer price. So that now these guys will be having their own profit. Profit is revenue minus what your cost. So the revenue is coming from the transfer fees. All right. So now we are changing every department to profit centers. We are changing every department to profit centers. So in this case here, our goals are well aligned. We call it goal congruence. Goal congruence. Even marriage, we must have, in this case, even marriage, husband and wife. If our goals are not aligned, then automatically, ladies and gentlemen, if we are we are not congruent, then automatically there will arise what here? A problem. Goal congruence. Let everybody be pursuing profit objectivity, goal congruence. Then we have, ladies and gentlemen, the concept of performance appraisal, especially for management. The departmental managers. You can't appraise this guy on cost KPIs, and then you appraise this other guy on profit KPIs. No, we want in this case here to appraise them on the same key performance indicators. Thank you so much. Yeah, division of that if this guy feels, ladies and gentlemen, that he can get a better price from outside, let it be. Let him go for whichever, decision they would want to make. All right. So that now these guys here can be pushed to also work very hard so that they don't transfer their inefficiencies to the next department. You guys have so many points. I don't want all those points. I only want you to remember 3. Minimization of global taxes. Number 2, never forget the concept of performance OTR appraisal. Autonomy, ugatuzi, ni kitu ya maana sana katika hii mambo yote. If you are able to remember those 3, I don't have any problem with you. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a good pleasure, great pleasure hosting you over the lunch hour. So then I'm looking forward to hosting you today in the evening for leadership and management. Leadership and management, which will start from what time? Yeah, leadership and management. Leadership and management, always look at the case question. Know those, I normally teach you those mnemonics, we call them mnemonics or abbreviations. Like you'll go, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, and get somebody asking you about, in this case here, Henry Fayol. So Henry Fayol's 14 principles. Do you remember the acronym for Henry Fayol's 14 principles? No. So the acronym we normally use DAD, UC, US, kule Russia, USSR. So hata kama ni msichana, unasema sasa umeitwa dad. Sasa umeitwa dad. Una change base, unasema oh, I see. Oh, I see. There are 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Esprit de corps, equity at the workplace. We have initiatives, order, remunerations, Scala chain, those things. I know you know the unity of the command. We have in this case here division of labor, authority, that managers must be authoritative. Steve, if you're a manager and you are a fellow, people are supposed to be leading. They don't take instructions from you, it means that you're not authoritative. Then that automatically will break up so many things in the organization. So the moment you have this just general understanding, and then you come and remember somebody like, in this case here, Elton Mayo, who did his experiments in America. Yeah. This guy who was able to come up with a very important concept of that what matters most is how you relate with your colleagues at the workplace to be able to improve productivity. How you relate, that is the most, it's not about the money you're giving your employees. It is how you respect them. The relationship that you have between them. Remember, this is a gentleman who took some 40 ladies into some experiment, a focus group, and was increasing the lighting. As it increased the lighting, the ladies' productivity was going up. And then by bad luck, we had a total power blackout. In this total power blackout during darkness, he expected the ladies' productivity to be 0, but it went up 3 times. So he went asking them what happened. They told you, Mr. Mayo, during our problematic times, during our dark times, you came and stayed with us. Yeah, you worked with us. You took one of the machines there. So we had to work very hard in this case here too, really, because we knew you wanted performance. Because I mean, during these dark times, which manager will be able to stay around? Managers, whenever they see bad things happening, they run away. But you are there with us. So he came and looked at this as what we call human relations theory, or the concept of what your empathy, like that. So the moment you have this kind of knowledge in your mind, and then you fuse this in the case question, you can never go wrong. This is a one-term passing paper. It's not a two-term passing paper. Otherwise, thank you very much. We don't have time now. We need to go. Now, before we disappear, remember, ladies and gentlemen, now you guys are on leave, isn't it? We have agreed, I'm coming up with a timetable. If you're on leave, I would want to help you study. And normally that's what I've been doing for so many years. I would want to help you study. Easy classes za kutoka kama 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Of course, with a break in between. And maybe 2 p.m. to maybe 4 p.m. I would want to help you study. Yeah. So how many of us in this case here are not able to get leave days? How many of us are not able to get leave days? Oh, you guys must be working for bad employers, eh? The ones in this case you don't recognize, in this case yourself improvements. Poleni sana. Poleni sana. But wala ambao mtakuwa available, au tutakuwa na recordia videos. Wala mtakuwa available from tomorrow, we are going to start like this. AMA is a paper we need to create lots of time. Remember, when you take your leave and then you just stay home without proper guidance, what happens? Unasikia usingizi nakuja sana, sababu unajua umekuwa umechoka throughout. Ya, alafu unaanza kupostpone, utaanza kusoma kesho. Hiyo kesho inakusumbua. But once in this case you are with us here and we are just studying together like that, either physically here, because I would want to also invite you to come and even study from college here physically if you're in Nairobi, or you go to like Kenya National Library Services in whichever town you find yourself in. Yeah, we shall be able to move very, very well. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, there is a product that we have that you guys don't make use of. We have these high school tuitions, which are ongoing at the moment. You only pay 4,500 shillings, and then your kid is able to, so long as they have a phone, or they have, in this case here, a laptop. We recommend laptops a lot. So in this case here, you'll be able to do what you have to get very good service. It has really picked up. If you are interested with this, please give us a shout out, and we shall be able to help your brothers and sisters from Form 2 to Form 4. That's RCM High School. Otherwise, cheers. Thank you so much. See you later in the evening. Predictions for AMA, we shall talk about that later, not now. So don't kushika kila kitu. Kushika kila kitu sasa. Timetable utakupatia bura. I'll be able to give you the timetable. LM, naona watu wanasema wengi 5 p.m. Wacha tuone. But I think 6 p.m. will be ideal for all of you. 6 p.m. will be ideal for all of you. Yeah, Lincoln, I sent to, okay, great. But now you need to also promote RCM. You need to pay that 1,500, you guys. Yeah, ndio muingie kwa paid groups. Sasa nyinyi mnataka sasa tuvae namna gani? Kule namna gani Nairobi? Kama nataka to make free throughout. Oh, pari ku 6 p.m. Kwa hivyo sasa LM has to be at 5. But let's talk on WhatsApp. Not pair, okay, Evelyn. Let's talk on WhatsApp. Let's talk on WhatsApp. Very good. Let's talk on WhatsApp. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Be blessed. BD. Well,